Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we showed off this really fun team featuring Ninetales and Sandslash, so I'd highly recommend you check out the last one, and we're playing a couple more games with it today. It's a super interesting team, and thank you to DragonairJordan for providing it. It's a rental team, so feel free to try it out yourselves, and let's just jump right into today's episode. There's Gothorita here, which is really interesting, because that normally screams Perish Trap. So Lapras can Perish Stomp, but can also Dynamax here. It's very clearly like a slow Trick Room team here from my opponent's end. So this is fascinating, because like Togetic can set up Safeguard, which has some value. Lapras generally, I feel like, is kind of a scary matchup here. You have two ways to set up Trick Room. I can set up screens with my Ninetales early on, but then what can I really do? I guess the question I have to ask here is, like, can I just one-shot the Gothorita on turn 1? Can I lead Primarina Coalossal here? If they lead Amoonguss and Gothorita, that's actually the only way you could really deny me, right? I'm going to try Primarina Cole here with Togetic in the back. Ninetales feels really weird if I'm not leading it. So like maybe Manectric is better, but then this is saying I have to deny Trick Room. If Trick Room goes up, we probably just lose. I'm going for Manectric here. I don't feel great about the Ninetales and the Sandslash duo because of the Lapras specifically. Like Lapras dissuades me from bringing it, but I think Lapras plus Trick Room is a pretty tough matchup here. So we'll see how things go. But thanks as always for watching Road to Rank. This team is really, really fun, so would highly recommend the last episode if you haven't seen it. And as always, if you enjoy Road to Rank, please share your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And question of the day, I want to know what moves you guys think has the coolest animation. Let me know in the comments below. Okay. The thing is that we're probably going to eat a Fake Out here turn 1. So the question is whether I want to Dynamax Primarina expecting the Fake Out onto that. If we do, we could just go for, like... I just don't know if Max Geyser into, like, Heat Wave would be a KO. It probably isn't, to be honest. Which isn't great. It's not Shadow Tag, that's interesting. I mean, I just don't see myself getting this off on turn 1. I really don't. But what can I go for? Given what I led, I feel like I have to just go for it. Like, just Aqua Jet, Max, and Volcalith. It's decently likely there's going to be a Sash on the Hatterene here, too, so, yeah. What was my lead around this? Sandslash Ninetales actually could have been pretty good, because Ninetales can't get faked out if Sandslash can't get faked out if I Dynamax it, and I can just Steel Spike into the Hatterene. But I feel like that's really bad into the Lapras. That doesn't feel good. Okay. I think it's probably Fake Out into Primarina Trick Room with Hatterene. Ooh, no, they max. Oh, wow. Is the, Okay, well, this is really interesting then, because it could just be Trick Room and G-Max Smite turn 1. That's also pretty bad for us. So maybe instead of targeting Hatterene, I should have targeted the Goth. That might have been the play. Max Guard, wow. Isn't that play so risky unless you have Focus Sash on the hat? Or on the Goth? Because I should have targeted Goth then, I guess. I never saw that one coming. But it works out really well for them because they should get Trick Room up here. Okay. It's not doomed, though. It's definitely not doomed. Like, I actually feel maybe okay about our position still. Because, like, you committed the Max to Hatterene already. And I could just knock out Hatterene this next turn with, like, a Hydro Cannon and a Volcalith. And I actually think that's what I'm just going to go for. Because, like, the God shouldn't really be able to do very much damage. I mean, it's going to Mindstorm into Expanding Force, I guess, but... Ooh, that actually did more than I expected. So it's probably Life Orb. I'm guessing the God has Sash, because otherwise that's a really risky turn 1 play. Yep, there's Life Orb. So much damage with Hydro Cannon. Nice. We get a crit. Let's see if Expanding Force here KOs us. Okay, we survive. So even though we're going to be immobile with Primarina next turn, like I just knock out the Dynamax Pokemon immediately here, right? So I think that's the only play we really could have gone for. I'm wondering if the crit mattered there. I mean, we were at +2 and we would have had the residual rocks effect, but that might have been big here. I was thinking it'd pick up the knockout, but I think it honestly could have been really, really close. So the upside here is that even if Cole goes down, I have multiple turns of Vocaloid to work with right now. And as you saw, the Primarina is actually faster than the Goth as well. Problem is that I have to just max guard here probably this next turn and take a turn with the Primarina. Conkeldurr might come in here. Oh, it's actually Amoonguss. Okay. Amoonguss is interesting. I guess you just Spore Expanding Force. I'm just going to max guard here. Like, I know Spore's coming, but I think I just eat up the sleep turn here. Because, like, what my opponent has right now does not do very much damage at all, right? This would have been a reason to bring in Ninetales, actually. Because if I had Ninetales in the back, I could switch it in and just click Blizzard a bunch with Primarina if we were to wake up. So this was not the lead I expected from my opponent. Super interesting. We actually get out of it in a decent position, I guess. But the problem is still that Trick Room is up, right? So I think what I have to do is probably switch Cole out into the Togetic. And maybe get a Safeguard up at some point. I just don't have very much late game damage at this point. Oh, they actually commit Sludge Bomb into that slot. Okay, I guess that covers for a switch out option. That makes sense. No point in Sporing Primarina, because then I can, like, you can just Spore this turn, right? An Expanding Force. So actually, that's a really good play. But we're gonna get a lot of Rocks damage off, which is good here. That's good for us, at least. Dynamax is over now from my end. Does Amoonguss KO us? Man, it's just the way we have Manectric in the back. Like, I feel like I need to switch Coalossal here, but like my opponent's like Togetic doesn't feel great to switch into. Although I do think you're kind of forced to put the Primarina to sleep right now. I'm just gonna Dazzle and switch out into the Togetic. We can also maybe stall out Terrain. Like the Goth is actually putting in a lot of work with Expanding Forces right now. Yep, there's Spore into Primarina as expected. No way around that, unfortunately. This is where if I had Ninetales and Sandslash in the back, I think we had a much better shot in this late game, but it's kind of tough to play around right now. We don't take much damage, though, right? Like, that's the one upside right now. And we're getting a lot of damage through the Vocaloid as well. And, you know, the Goth should be Eviolite here, so shouldn't be able to really heal up. Togetic can also heal up with... I can Safeguard next turn, so I think I'm going to Protect here and just go for a Dazzle. Expanding Force, how many turns of Terrain are up? 3 or 2? 2. Okay. Is there a reason to Hydro Cannon here? I don't think I want to just KO the... Yeah, I don't think we need a KO here. So I think we can just Dazzle and Protect here. It's a really interesting endgame. I mean, I do have Scarf Manectric with Flamethrower, so that might KO the Amoonguss, given the residual that we've gotten onto it. It does offer a Sludge Bomb, though. That's a great play, because Primarina might just go down here. It probably does, actually. Okay, well done. The thing is, I can Safeguard this next turn. I don't even know if I need to Safeguard, though. I just don't have any damage in this late game. Like, that's the problem for me right now. I can bring out Manectric. I mean, the thing is that the Goth is actually faster than I expected, right? Like, it's not like Coalossal just outspeeds both Pokemon here, right? Yeah, because you're faster. I protected last turn. You know what I could actually do right now? Here's our play, actually, I think. We bring in Cole, we protect Cole as we Safeguard, and then we follow me Heat Wave next turn. Yeah. I kind of like that. I don't know, if I brought in the Manectric, I could have gone for Flamethrower, I guess, but... I think it's going to be Protect Safeguard, because then Terrain's over, so then Expanding Force is only single target. Amoonguss switches, though. That's not what we want to see. It's probably... Oh, it's Conkeldurr, okay. It's going to be tough, yeah. Like, I don't have enough late-game damage here right now. And that's the main problem that we have here. Safeguard is wasted, so I was really hoping Amoonguss would get baited into Sporing there. Huh. They Trick Room. Is that a problem? Probably, because I don't think I can beat the Conkeldurr now. Especially with Flame Orb, it probably just one-shots the Togetic. I think I have to just Heat Wave and follow me here, but I think with that, it should be a game. So that's really interesting. The Goth was pretty cool here. I think that turn 1 play... I mean, it's definitely got to be Eviolite, right? Like, Sash would be really, really shocking. So if I targeted the Goth turn 1, We could have just won off that. My opponent made a super, super hard read and called it correctly, so props to them. I think instead of Manectric and Togetic, if I had Ninetales and Sandslash here, we maybe had a better shot. Oh, they actually go for Rock Slide and Cole misses, or Cole dodges it. Maybe there's a chance then? No, that does too much damage to Togetic. Like, Rock Slide should just close out the game now at this point. And that's the most consistent option for my opponent to go for as well. Heat Wave crits, but not onto what we kind of need to crit. I'm trying to think if there's any way we can win this. I don't think so, because you can just Sludge Bomb and Drain Punch. I mean, at this point, we're hoping for a throw from my opponent's end, so I'm just thinking of, like, how they can possibly throw this game. But I think at this point, I just, like, really didn't have enough damage after the early game. So our lead was fine, but I don't think Manectric took... Like, I played super scared of the the Lapras, and unfortunately, Lapras didn't even come out here from my opponent's end. I think we just have to hope for... I'd have to hope you, like, Sludge Bomb, you don't KO the Togetic, and then you get, instead of Rock Sliding, you Drain Punch out of fear of missing. Like, I think that's the only way we can have a chance here. But I think Sludge Bomb should one-shot us here from the range we're at. Yeah. So, actually, I mean, I guess they could Rock Slide here and miss the Rock Slide instead of Drain Punching. That's the other condition, but they're going to hit it. Yeah, well played. Really, really well played. That Turbo was, like, a really aggressive play, and it worked out perfectly for them. And I was fearing the Fake Out so much, but I think in that position... It's tough, but I think, like, the question is, did I have a better lead? And the answer would have been to lead Ninetales Sandslash. Because with Ninetales Sandslash, I could Steel Spike Aurora Veil turn 1, right? Which means you either get Trick Room up, but then you let me get the Aurora Veil up, and I get a defense boost, which helps out against the Conkeldurr waiting for me in the back as well. So, yeah, I think really good execution from my opponent. Trick Room isn't necessarily the easiest matchup with this team, because we are, like, the goal is to often outspeed with the Cole and the Sandslash. So Trick Room puts you in a really awkward spot where I'm not going to be outspeeding, but my Pokemon are also not, like, strong enough unless they have their respective boosts. I mean, I guess Sandslash isn't any stronger in the Hail, it's just faster, but that speed often is really pivotal. But if Sandslash is attacking second, it's really mediocre. But like I said, if we had Sandslash Ninetales instead of Togetic and Manectric, we probably could have just denied the second Trick Room from going up and just pick up KOs across the board and just spam our Ice-type attacks. So I don't know if our Pokemon selection was super good there, but the problem is if my opponent plays a more Lapras-oriented game and I don't bring the Manectric, I feel a lot weaker to it because I don't really do damage against it with Ninetales and Sandslash. So that was one where it felt like I didn't have a very clear cut for to bring, and it ended up being pretty matchup-oriented, and my opponent made the better calls in terms of who to bring. But yeah, I think that was definitely an interesting game. I have not seen... I did actually play against Gothorita at Worlds in 2013, round 5, and it was a Perish Trap team. So it's interesting to see that used over Gothitelle, because it wasn't trapping us in either. But yeah, that was cool. Alright, next game here. Well, that looks familiar. Okay. So having played with that team, I know Primarina is kind of a nightmare to play against. Scarf Manectric is actually very interesting here. I mean, I don't think we bring Cole. I think it's got to be Sandslash, Ninetales, Primarina, Manectric, with Primarina actually being the Dynamaxmon here. But I like the idea of leading Manectric and Sandslash, because what I can do is pivot out into Ninetales turn 1 and get the Volt Switch into Pelipper to pick up a KO onto it. What if I just lead Primarina, Manectric, Volt? No, because I need the weather control so that Manectric doesn't get one shot. Alright, well, in the last episode, we went up against the Zoroark team, and this one we go up against the Rain team. So, always fun to see people use teams that we feature on Road to Ranked. You know, it's part of the reason why I really like making these videos, so that you all can find these awesome teams and try them out yourself. This is a really volatile matchup that I think is more in my opponent's favor. I think the Primarina helps us extensively, potentially. We have Triple Axle on the Sandslash, which can help out as well. So it's like if my opponent leads Pelipper, Seismitoad, what I can do is pivot out in Primarina into the Ninetales and Volt Switch. The problem is that they're probably going to get a Tailwind off on turn 1. I don't have a way to deny Tailwind while also not getting KO'd by one of the sweepers. Pelipper and Dreadnought. Okay, that's really interesting because And we know Dreadnought's not going to max. Like, I can just one-shot it here with the Thunder. I wonder if Volt Switch KOs. I don't think it does. Like, the play I'm leaning towards here is honestly Thunder into the Dreadnought and switch out into Ninetales. This also breaks the Pelipper Sash and means my opponent has to max Geyser to reset the rain. So, I like this play a lot. Obviously, I could have KO'd Pelipper, but I think Dreadnought putting on so much offensive pressure right now is rather scary, so I'd rather get that out of the way. Oh, wait, I just switched in. Oh my goodness. That was so risky. Wait, I just realized I give up my own rain by doing that, but we hit the Thunder, which is fortunate. I don't know if that was really my most consistent play, like relying on a Thunder turn 1. Oh, but they scald. That puts us in a really advantageous position, actually, because that means you don't get Tailwind up. Which means we actually could have a really interesting play here of Dynamaxing Manectric solely to KO the Pelipper, because I don't want to risk missing. Because that was a risky Thunder turn 1. I forgot that we wouldn't be 100% accurate because I reset the Hail. So, not a great play. Maybe a Volt Switch would have done enough there, honestly. But I wasn't confident on that. And I'll calc it after the game. I don't know my Manectric damage calcs like whatsoever. So we're lucky that we hit that Thunder. Obviously, it's still in our favor, but you never want to gamble on a 70% chance right from the start of the game. Like, you want to find more consistent plays than that. Because if we miss, we're in a lot of trouble. Scavalier comes down, okay. I don't know. I mean, I really could max Manectric here and max Lightning. Ooh, we have max Flare. That's actually really interesting against this Cavalier as well. Huh. I wonder if Seismitoad's in the back. That'd be interesting. I mean, I think we... Honestly, as odd as maxing here seems, I don't want to risk missing a Thunder. So I kind of like it because we have max Flare as well. So I'm going to max Lightning to KO the Pelipper and just Aurora Veil here. Okay, they stay in. So Pelipper should be down and we should get Aurora Veil up. And then we can... Max Flare should be a 2-hit KO onto the Escavalier. The question is what my opponent has in the back. I don't know if this was the best play, but this is like a unique scenario of how you can utilize your Dynamaxes. I don't know. I don't want to risk missing a Thunder there in that position because a miss would be awful. I'm wondering, though, like maybe Hypnosis is the play there because if we hit, we just win. Whereas Aurora Veil gives us more late game insurance. I think Aurora Veil is more consistent. Like, that's the thing. So then the big question is, what does my opponent have as their fourth? What could I have? If Volt Switch was a KO on Dreadnought, then obviously that would have been my play turn 1. So I need to calc that after this game. Okay, get the Aurora Veil up. And we get to Dynamax Manectric. I always loved maxing Pokemon that had like Mega Evolutions previously. This also sets up the terrain, so we do more damage with Max Lightning in subsequent turns. Now, obviously, Manectric's base special attack, not really amazing, but it's still solid. And now, without my opponent having Rain or Tailwind up, we should just outspeed whatever's in the back. Only question is, do you have Seismitoad? I feel like the answer is no, because if you did, you would have switched it out there. They actually go for Flutterby. Okay, so trying to KO Manectric, that makes sense. But we take that pretty well. Now, the only downside is, obviously, we are at -1 special attack. Oh, also, I actually set up the terrain, so I can't Hypnosis. I guess I should have thought about that a little bit more. Huh. What's the last one? Oh, it actually is Seismitoad. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't switch out there then. Huh. Interesting. I actually think it might be to just max Darkness here. Because Max Darkness gets a Spadef drop, and that's really good for this endgame, I think. Like, sure, we could Flare, but we're at -1 special attack, and there's the Aqua Berry, so it doesn't even do that much damage, whereas we kind of get more out of Max Darkness long-term here. Yeah, so I think I'm actually going to Max Darkness here into the Toad, and just Blizzard. I kind of like that. Especially because we have Aurora Veil up right now. I mean, we're not doing much damage right now, but it's just kind of setting ourselves up for the late game. Oh, we get a Freeze, though. That's actually a really big deal. Like, that makes it so tough for my opponent. And that's why, like, you know, one of the upsides, Hail is a relatively weak strategy, but 100% accurate Blizzards, like, your chances of freezing, if you're using it over multiple turns, are pretty good. But I don't like how I played this game at all. I wish it didn't stay Frozen Solid there, because I think we'd still be in a pretty solid position, honestly. They were probably going for Earth Power there onto us. So, like, you know, potentially you pick up a double KO, but then I get 2 free switch-ins into Primarina and the Escavalier. And I have the Spadef drop onto the Escavalier. So then, you know, I can just go for a Hydro Cannon onto that, which is, I think, exactly what I'm going to do this next turn. But now it's just really tough for my opponent because Manectric doesn't go down here. I guess the question is whether an Earth Power would have KO'd Manectric from the range that we were at. The answer I would think is yes, but I don't know that with 100% confidence. So I'm going to go Sandslash here because I want to conserve Primarina for the late game for a Hydro Cannon into a Scavalier. And I think here we can just go for another Max Darkness on the Seismitoad for another Spadef drop. And a... I don't know if Drill Run would KO, so I'm going to go for the Triple Axle instead. Because after a Scavalier is at -2 Spadef, Hydro Cannon should just pick up the KO. Okay, Triple Axle, 1 hit. I actually don't even... Oh, wow, we missed too. Okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, for how lucky we got throughout the course, like, I really can't complain about that. Is that a crit? No, it wasn't. Wow, that was actually just a KO. Okay. Nice. It's weird that Triple Axle doesn't tell you that you miss. Like, that's kind of one of the more bizarre things. They Geyser, which is fine by me. I mean, that sets up the rain for the Primarina in the back. And, yeah, it doesn't really do very much damage to Sandslash. So, in the end, we didn't max Primarina. We had a flexible option of maxing Manectric. If anything, actually, what I would have liked to have done instead was max Manectric turn 1. So that I don't... But if Volt Switch is a KO on Dreadnought, then obviously I Volt Switch. So, that's a calc I need to do afterwards, but I kind of brain farted and forgot that I would be getting rid of my own Hail, which was a bad mistake on my end. Actually, Thunder probably just KOs by itself here. Let's see. Like, Electric Terrain boosted -2 Spadef? I would think so. So, yeah, I think if anything, I mean, we didn't play this super well, but the Dynamax, like, this should show why you should always be flexible with your Dynamaxes. I just really didn't want to miss a Thunder there, have Pelipper set up a Tailwind, and then have something sweep me in the late game in the back. I don't know if it was the best Dynamax option, but it felt like this would be an appropriate game for it. Oh, wow. Scavalier actually survives despite being at -2 Spadef. And the Electric Terrain, but we get the KO with Drill Run. Nice. Now, granted, they Flutterbied, so we were obviously at -1 special attack, but yeah, I want to quickly calc Manectric into the... What am I thinking? The Turtle. What is that thing called? Dreadnought. Because I'm thinking Volt Switch is a roll, if not like it's not a guaranteed KO. Yeah, it's not. So I think the play actually would have been to go Max Lightning turn 1. It would have been to go into Ninetales and actually just Dynamax and Lightning immediately, because then that sets up the terrain for us as well. And there's nothing in the back that really threatens Dynamax Manectric. So even though we won that game, you know, that first turn is super volatile. You never want to put yourself in a position where you have to depend on hitting a low accuracy attack in the beginning of the game. Especially if the matchup is not that bad. What? Another Goth? How do we play 2 in 1 episode? What are the odds? No way. Huh. That's crazy, man. Oh, this is so interesting, because I could go Manectric Cole, but I could also go Sandslash Ninetales. Wait, how do I beat Primarina if I don't go Max Overgrowth Cole? I can't believe we go up against 2 gods in the same episode. The thing that scares me about Hail here is the Durant, right? Because it can Rockfall. I really want to go Manectric Cole here. I might just do that, because I think you never see this coming. So Manectric Cole, and then I think Ninetales Sandslash in the back. This would be really interesting. I don't know if it'll work out, but I think this could be a decent demonstration because, like, let's say my opponent leads their Durant. I guess the problem is that my opponent has 2 Fake Out users, so you could just Fake Out onto the Manectric, right? So maybe this wasn't super smart. But, like, if my opponent goes, like, Gengar Durant, for example. Nah, you're probably going to lead a Fake Out user. But maybe they don't expect the Flamethrower. I don't know. Oh, actually, wait. We don't even need to... If Durant comes out, we can just Flamethrower into the Durant, right? We don't have to self-Flamethrower here. So that's another option. Okay, it's Gothorita and Durant. Man, I feel like I'm playing WBE right now. I actually think the best play is to not Dynamax and just Flamethrower and Heat Wave here. Because both should KO, right? Yeah. Because I could see Gothorita targeting the Manectric and then doubling up onto that slot. If they don't fake out, they're in trouble. Durant maxes. What if ally switch comes out turn 1? That could be a possibility. The thing is, if we KO Durant, we should win the game with the Sand Slash. Best case is they don't expect the Manectric to be scarfed with Flamethrower and they don't fake out it. Oh my god, they actually ally switched? I was joking when I said that. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh my goodness. Why? No way, man. No way. Okay, we go out into Ninetales. Wow. Wow. I mean, I guess that is the best play there. It's risky. Question is whether I want to predict it now again. Oh, man. And the other question is whether, like, Flamethrower into Blizzard KOs at +1 SPDF. I don't know if it does, but I think it still should. I'm gonna make the read that they go for it again and just double down onto that. I can't believe that. Oh. I said it as a joke. I really didn't think it would, like, because I feel like Fake Out's a more consistent option there, but yeah. If they ally switch again, though, and we KO Durant, I actually think we still just win the game. So that's just how volatile a Durant matchup is. But I was just kidding, man. Nice. Okay. Do we pick up the KO? Let's see. It always feels good when you target correctly into the ally switch, though. Oh. Oh. But are you quaking into... Okay. That's fine, then. That's fine. This is still definitely winnable, then. Especially because I have Hypnosis, and I haven't maxed yet, and I could potentially SD as well. Just a shame. Durant actually hung on with literally 1 tick of HP. Like, if Durant faints there, it's just over, I think. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't call the game so early for myself, but at least we called the second ally switch turn correctly. Now, Goth does have 2 stages of increased special defense, so it takes basically no damage. That's fine, though. I don't really care about that. I get the free switching into Sand Slash. The problem is that you probably have the Gastrodon in the back, but they bring out Marowak. Okay, that's fine. I mean, here's the problem. I still have to call the dang ally switches. Man. You Flare Blitz here, though, right? If we had EQ, I'd actually probably SD. I think Hypnosis is our best play. Ooh, you know what I like? I like maxing, Hailstorming. I don't think Quake KOs, that's my problem. Do they expect Max Quake here is the problem. I guess we could Max Quake into the Marowak slot and Hypnosis into the Gothorita slot. It's just that now I'm relying on Hypnosis. But I don't think I had 100% safe play here. This covers both options where if you ally switch, I KO the Goth potentially, and I potentially get the sleep. I think actually, if any, like the Hypnosis always gives us a chance, right? Regardless of what they go for. I'm assuming Max Quick one-shots Marowak, but maybe that's a wrong assumption to make. That could be Trick Room coming up then, which would be really good for them. Okay. This is the one downside, because now if I miss, I actually probably lose the game. And when you use, low accuracy attacks over a longer course of time, the odds of you missing naturally are gonna, it's gonna happen at some point. But we connect. Okay, nice. That's huge. That's really huge, honestly. Because now it's like they have to get a 1-turn awake and ally switch. Man. Margins feel razor thin right now. Quake would have one-shot Marowak, it looked like there. Yeah, I'm going to just Quake into Marowak here. I think I want to cover for the option of Gothorita waking up. And so what we do is we actually Hypnosis into that slot again. Because if it wakes up and it gets the ally switch off... Oh, they switch out Marowak. Okay, into Gastron. I mean, that's fine, honestly. The thing is that now I do need to KO the Gothorita. I guess it could actually just wake up here. If it gets a one-turn wake and sets up Trick Room, that's also bad for us. So actually a better play would have been to double up onto... No, actually, not necessarily. Okay, let's see if they wake up. Okay, they stay asleep. I think that puts us in a game-winning position then. But, you know, that's what... Like, Hypnosis is such a good option if it hits, but it's just so unreliable. You never want to be clicking it, like, and depending on it, right? But in this case, it really was super helpful. The upside is that we have multiple Spadef boosts, so now I'm definitely going to go for... I think Hailstorm is probably our best option just because it covers the ally switch option. And we can Aurora Veil or Blizzard. I kind of... Wait, how many turns of Hail are left? There's only 2. That's not great. But yeah, I think I'm just going to Hailstorm into Goth. I don't really find much of a point in Aurora Veiling because the Marowak is going to just knock everything out anyway. So Gastron Protect... Oh, I guess that would have been a reason to Aurora Veil. Okay. I think we're good though, because now what we can do is just double up onto Gastron this next turn. With the only downside is we can still miss our attacks. Like that's always the scary thing about using unreliable, or sorry, not 100% accurate attacks. But you obviously, these are by far the best options for a team like this. Yeah, so we have the Sash on the Sand Slash, so we know we can take an attack from the Marowak. So I think the best play here is to just Blizzard. In Triple Axle. Because if we KO the Gastrodon, I mean, it still comes down to hitting Triple Axle, and... Should I target Marowak? I just, like, what if Marowak protects here, right? And I have one more turn where Blizzard's 100% accurate, plus I know Gastrodon protected. Yeah, exactly. This is why I wanted to make that play. Now, I think even if we miss, it's actually not the end of the world. It just means we would need to hit a couple of more attacks in the late game. Okay, do we hit all 3? We do. Nice. Triple Axle is actually an insanely powerful attack. Like, when we played with the Serena team, it was super good, but... I don't know, even though like we eked out wins in these last 2 games, they didn't feel great because it never felt like I was in full control, right? I mean, this game, just the ally switch turn 1 was not a play. It's funny because I even called it out, but I was kind of joking. I didn't think it would actually come out. Yeah, even with SD, I don't think +2 Ironhead KO, so we just have to hope to hit 1 of 2 draw runs. And we can Hypnosis to cover for the option of missing. So now the odds are substantially in our favor. And we've been very lucky with this team in hitting every Hypnosis so far, so... I think our luck is bound to run out. We've barely missed any of our attacks, but there's no other move to go for there. You know, Blizzard doesn't do any extra damage that I really need in this position. Yeah, Jordan's actually not a... maybe I did need a Blizzard there then. I don't know. I'm just going to Ironhead here. Ironhead should be a 2-hit KO at this point. But, like, this is kind of a game you walk away from and you kind of count your blessings, right? Like, I hit every low accuracy attack. Like, I didn't miss anything. That's not always going to happen. So today's episode could have gone very, very differently. And so, like I said, in that second game, and this is why it's really important to just always evaluate what you could have done better, because did we win these games? Yeah, but like if you're going for moves with high variance, often it's not going to play out the way it did. So you always have to ask yourself, okay, if I got lucky, what did I need to do better and what did I do wrong? So in game 1, there was no RNG involved. It was just better play from my opponent, and I needed better Pokemon selection. In the second game, I think if we just Dynamax Manectric turn 1, so we don't risk missing Thunder, and we switch into Ninetales, we're in a very commanding position. And in this game, this one is tricky, right? Because, you know, now that I know you have the Ally Switch, I don't know if there's the Fake out there, so like one play I could go for is sell Flamethrower into Heatwave. But, obviously if you just Fake out the Durant, if you Fake out what was I going to say? Well, actually, I guess if you Fake out and Max Quake anyway, same thing happens. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have just gone for the Flamethrower. I also could have Max turn 1 and Max Guarded, but I didn't feel great about maxing Cole in front of a Durant right there. Yeah. Do I have a more consistent lead there? That actually is my best lead, because those are my only 2 Fire-type Pokemon. I guess I could have gone Togetic plus the Cole. Double Protect turn 1, but then I'm still playing around Ally Switch, so... Yeah. Also, I guess if the Flamethrower knocks out Durant, that game becomes a lot easier as well. because I have Snarls potentially in the late game. Although I guess by Manectric going down, it did give me a free switch in, so maybe it was a good thing let Duran survive. Either way, yeah, you know, I mean, some razor thin margins there. At the end of the day, it was like, I was trying to make plays that would cover the ally switch option as well. So I could have played a little bit more aggressively and just said you're not going to ally switch. Like, could you imagine if I just gone for Steel Spike onto Gothorita the turn I Hypnosis it? If I get that correct, because Marowak protected last turn, we just insta-win the game. So maybe making a little bit more aggressive of a play. But the thing is, I covered for all the options. So it's like if my opponent ally switches, then they get wrecked. And even if they don't, if I hit the Hypnosis, we're also good. So that's the thing about ally switch. It can just be a pretty tough move to play around because even the knowledge of your opponent having it can make things more difficult. But yeah, really interesting set of games. So thanks as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.